Caro Fratello, the truth lies, buried in the darkness of the soul.
I can still recall the habit of my mother to read early in the morning by the window as she combed her hair. Typically, she would have with her a cup of wine. She preferred the spiced wines, which myself and father never favored. Father said it reminded him of the wines of the pine. I disliked the tingle at the base of my throat. But I was always a diligent son. I never questioned his word. Or that I had, I might have set things right. I could see from an early age how our land was being led astray and mishandled. Father was a capable man at affairs of war, and he was passable at matters of enforcing law. But he never had a mind for governance, nor diplomacy, nor affairs of court. He was a lord only because he was loyal to his ideals to a fault. He was manageable. He was predictable, and a man to be used when a situation called for force. Somehow I could see it and he could not. Theory was a good boy, idealistic and noble at heart, and Tancrede, he always aspired to great things, but he never had the heart nor stomach for it. Too lost chasing rainbows as though he could catch them in his hand like butterflies. I tried to show Thierry and Tancred the realities of court, the truth of governance and power, but they were either too gentle or noble at heart to see past their ideals and codes of chivalry, to see the reality of the world. I tried to show father, but he was too stubborn, somehow believing strength of arms and law would be enough to secure the family legacy. We would be crushed like wheat in a mortar by time. We would have been like mother's chair after Tancred outgrew her books and sought his own, dusty, molded, and forgotten. I only saw that chair when father, drunk and weak, would lower himself into her seat and stare vacantly as if he were about to cry. To his credit, he never did. If he loved her, if he cared, or if she was just a diligent wife, I could never tell. I was better. At a third of father's age, I had already made favorable impressions with a series of neighboring lords. I had shaken the hands of Swabian merchants and Genovese ship captains. I told father, replant the fields, rotate the crops for favorable wine and cotton. Look there to the shore. We could harvest the Munich snails to sell their dye to the Byzantines and all the others who would wear the purple of proper lords. He always told me no. He always reminded me he was the lord and that I should not get ahead of myself. Sometimes he smacked me. Sometimes it hurt. Other times the frustration was such that I couldn't feel the sting, and every ounce of my strength was being used not to choke him there where he stood. We were doomed. By the time I inherited his land, the damage would be such that I doubt we would ever recover. And if we did, it would be at the cost of our legacy, forever being regulated to the passive and dependable country lords. Oh yes, them. What's their name? In theory, inherit part of father's estates. What would he do with them? Share them with the church, lax the laws on hunting game, or waste our family's time and his life in the war of the king? It all became so unbearable. Honestly, I was grateful when Tancred left to join the Knights Templar. I thought good. He could go be a noble knight in service to the Lord and content himself with the noble heart believing he had fulfilled his purpose in life. If not, perhaps he might learn something. I wished him well. I sincerely did. Of course, he would quit that too. I can't imagine why. Maybe he felt as though it wasn't the idealistic dream he had built up in his head. Yes, well, my chivalric brother, being a chivalrous knight of the Lord is a hell of a lot of work when you spend the whole time putting on airs and wasting time and money and power that could right 1,000 wrongs if you could just use your sun-baked head. Maybe that's what he saw. All the power of the Knights Templar, all the money and influence, and they were too afraid to use it. Too trapped by their pious ideals, they wouldn't apply those resources where they might in order to gain ground and win their fights. You'd think with the ear of the Pope how much they could get done. I'd have seized the land of every incompetent petty lord who got in my way, used the taxes to fund a silent army to attack Muslims' supply lines, or bribe envious emirs into fighting one another. I wouldn't have wasted all that. I wonder if he saw it too. I hope he did. I knew when I had finally had enough. I found Father late one night as he was sitting in Mother's chair. I came to his side and gave him a cup of wine laced with belladonna. Perhaps it was the blood that gave me the push I needed. Maybe I was just sick of the incompetence of it all. I don't quite remember now. What I know is I saw opportunities, and I could no longer let them pass me by, or the course to continue as it was until we were left behind in irrelevance. I killed Father. Then I killed Theory who couldn't understand. I gave him the option to join the church, renounce his claims, join Tancrede and the Templars, but I would not allow him to dispute my claim. I put down his supporters. I called on my allies. I made deals with the Swabians in my sire's pocket. I traded with the Genovese, and I bartered with the Germans. Let them come. Thomas Vallant de Corleone would have opened the ports to the imperial powers and be crowned a duke. Duke of all of Sicily. I would have protected my countrymen and represented them in the imperial court. And when the king fell, I would have been the first to secure the ports. As the Germans attacked, I would have sailed on carrion wings in the wakes of their ships and taken the ports of Salerno, of Napoli, of Bari, and Reggio Calabria. If a merchant wished to live to continue their trade, it would have been through me in Sicilian-controlled waterways. Tancrede, you jealous little shit, you ruined everything. Why, brother? Why did you have to come back? Why would you turn on me? Had I not always looked out for you? Had I not done for you, in theory, what you had no heart to do? Did I not free us all from Father's incompetence? Did I not protect you, teach you, and show you the reality of things? So why? Why then did you betray the one who had always been on your side? Why did you turn on me? If I was the monster you accused me of, I would have had your gutted corpse lying dead that time you first came back to Corleone. But no, I let you live. I told you to leave. Could you not see what was being prepared all around me? The instability that would come if you challenged me? No, of course not, because you're a child. And it is the way of children to idolize the heroes and honorable men and spit on the villains of the past. Well, brother, perhaps you should learn why as adults we can understand the villains. You took everything from me. All I had worked for, all I had sacrificed for, all I had planned for, every death made meaningless is on your hands. Our family's future made irrelevant by your deeds. But I am still here. And for as long as I stand, I will rise again. Mark my words, brother. By the end of this crusade, I will be more than any mortal king, for I shall stand a prince, arisen from the ashes. And to you I say in the words of the old Roman emperor, hate me all you like, so long as you fear me. Because if you are the pious and noble knight, and I the villain, then I am the devil you made. Until we meet again, dear brother.